What's going on? I'm doing good. How y'all doing? Everybody good? I like that mask. I need to get that Kraken mask. That's lit.
Ryan, what's this opportunity mean for you to step in for Jamal again?
Well, first off, I do want to say, you hate seeing something like this happen to somebody who works extremely hard at their craft, gives it everything, is very passionate, and to have that happen to him again, it sucks. It's a big blow. You're losing a special guy like that who means a lot to everybody on the team, and fortunately, it's the second time this happened in kind of a similar fashion, which is crazy. But for me, it's just the same thing. Just step in, be accountable, be there for the people around me, be there for my team. The defense, the coaches, everything. Of course, it's an opportunity for me, but it ain't even about me. You know what I mean? It's about everybody else, and how can we keep this thing rolling in the direction that we got it. So my whole mindset is step in, do my job, do it to the best of my ability to help us win games, and that's just how I'm looking at it.
The 4 starts that you got last year for Adams, what did that do for you, and what do you think you showed in those 4 games?
Well, first and foremost, it gave me experience. Before that, I never played in an NFL game before as a starter. Full time. And it taught me a lot of things. I learned a lot from the game then. Things happen fast. You got to be ready to rock and roll. And in those 4 games, I had to just had to figure it out real quick, and I had to rely on the guys around me. Having KJ last year was huge. He was a guy I heavily relied on to learn what was going on and the movements and everything. But the difference this time around is I had the experience. I've been playing this year, a little bit in dime packages and stuff like that. So for me, it's just nothing but another play I get to play. You know what I mean? And way more confident this time around stepping into it. You know what I mean? It's not a shock to me. It may be a shock to, everybody else, but it's not a shock to me. You know what I mean? I'm just here to come in and do my job. So that's what last year gave me.
Coach Carroll said that you've really been working to pattern your game after Jamal's to really help with making sure if you do have to play that the scheme can be the same.
Mm-hmm.
So where do you feel like you're at now compared to where you were then in that regard?
Way better now. You know what I mean? Even when we was in practice, when we walked through, I shadow him and everything he does. Just even getting tips and advice from him. And, you do want to get, of course, you get advice from a guy like that. That's an all-pro Pro Bowler we're talking about. So going over his house, always in his ear. What does he see? How does he see it? And, the one thing is this, man, I'm not Jamal. You know what I mean? That's a special kid with special talent. I'm Ryan Neal. So Ryan Neal's going to do what Ryan Neal's going to do. But in that fact to your question, I really hope that me shadowing him and learning from behind him can help us remain having that flexibility in our defense and stuff like that, and not have to shy away from anything that we've been doing. So that's the hope that I can give the coaches, and hopefully they can trust me to do the job. So.
In 2018, did you expect to get drafted?
Oh no, I knew I wasn't. In fact, I knew I wasn't. I didn't have any bowl game invites. Didn't have any no combines or anything like that. And even talking with my agent during that time, I understood what it was, and my whole goal in 18 was to get my foot in the door, no matter if it was a tryout, undrafted, whatever. I kind of knew what the deal was going to be. And so, when teams would call me, I was like, well, we don't really have you on. I just told them, look, I don't need to be drafted. You give me the opportunity, you're not going to tell me no. And that's just kind of how I looked at it. So, yeah, I already knew I wasn't going to get drafted.
Did you watch the draft?
I mean, I did just for, just because. But, I watched it a little bit, but I already knew the game plan. But it did shock me, though. I did get a couple phone calls during the draft, and I was like, oh, maybe I could. But it didn't happen that way, but I still got the opportunity. So, and I'm here now, so it all worked out.
How hard did Seattle try to, or if at all, did Seattle try to recruit you after the draft?
Well, let me see. I didn't really talk to Seattle at all. It came down to 2 teams, which was Philly and Atlanta. I chose Philly and still ended up in Atlanta. But after that, my little stint with Atlanta, the first day after I got cut from there, Seattle, rang my phone and, shout out to, the coaches who they're very intertwined, like Dan Quinn was here and all that. So I'm pretty sure they spoke good on my behalf when they came to get me. But other than that, not really a lot.
When you're at that point, you're like you said, you're not getting the invites to the Senior Bowl, all that stuff. You don't think you're going to get drafted. What kind of keeps you going? What motivates you?
What motivates me is just my film. You know what I mean? I looked at the film. I looked at the plays that I made, comparing it to other guys who were in the draft, and I'm like, oh, I'm right there. I'm right there in the conversation. You know what I mean? It's not too far off. Of course, they talk about, level of play, FCS, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, you cut the film on, I get it in, you know what I'm saying? And I'm doing it just like any of the other guys that went to the bigger schools. And that's kind of what gave me the hope, you know what I mean? And just hold on to that dream. I've seen plenty of guys go undrafted and make it in, so why couldn't I do it? You know what I mean? And just start something big at my school, which now is just, it's on a roll. Guys are coming out of there. Salukis getting in the league, so I'm proud of that. But, yeah, man, the hope was just, just sticking to the script, sticking to the plan, going to the workouts, and understanding that the pro days is where I was going to make my money at. The pro days is where I had to really, focus on and shine, and I did that, and that also helped me get my foot in the door as well. So that's just what kept me going.
You're at SIU, were you a safety?
Yeah. I was a safety. I was a safety when I got there. Then I went to corner my sophomore year, and then the last 2 years I finished up at safety.
Did you want those switches, or did Coach Rogers?
The corner switch was before Coach Rogers got there. That was with the old coaching staff. But as soon as Coach Rogers came in, they moved me right back to safety, where I, love to play. So.
Dan had you playing at corner in Atlanta?
Yeah, when I first got to Atlanta, I went back to corner, and I was like, okay. And then in the preseason game, I ended up making like a tackle for loss on a 3rd and 1. And then the next week, I was starting safety because I had to learn the playbook like that fast. So, I mean, you talk about position switches and scheme changes, and I done been through it all. I done seen it all. You know what I mean? So that's kind of just been the story of my life for real.
I think you mentioned last year there was one brief moment when you thought about sort of giving it up or whatever.
Yeah, man. I mean, you go in and, undrafted, went to Philly. I got cut like before the first preseason game. Went to Atlanta, made the practice squad there. And then I got cut again, so I was cut number 2. So I'm like, all right. Ended up coming out here. And then when I first got here, I was playing corner. Got a phone call in the offseason like, hey, we want to try you at safety again. I'm like, all right, cool. I had a really good camp, you know what I mean? And didn't make it again. And it was just like, is it just time to grow up, or is it just time to just, face the facts? Like, maybe this might be as far as I go. And, you contemplate stuff like that. And, good thing I got a great support system around me, people who believe in me and, talk some sense into me like, hey, what else would you rather be doing? You know what I mean? And I'm just like, well, let's go back and do it again. And everything just came through, and I'm here now, so.
What was growing up going to be? You said, should I grow up and do something else? What was that going to be?
I have no idea. Still don't know. Like, I'm just like, well, I had to find something. I mean, I honestly don't know. I didn't know then, but I just knew at the time I was like, I mean, if this isn't working out, what am I, what am I doing here? So, I mean, but you eventually find your way out the game, one way or another, and stuff you got to think about, which I should be thinking about. But, that time will get here when it get here.
What part of your game did you elevate, do you think, that made the difference in sticking with the roster?
Just man, that's a great question. I think just being adamant on special teams. That's one thing that I understood that all undrafted people understand, and practice squad guys, is that your golden ticket is special teams. So my first couple of years, I wasn't really the best at it, but then next thing you know, I just found my groove in it, and then just let my natural self take over, and that's just running fast, making plays, and just hitting people, and not really caring what is going on around me. And that was the biggest part that helped me out make the roster. And then after that, everything just solved itself from there on.
Ryan, when did you feel like you started to settle in and become a little bit more established, and that this wasn't just kind of something where you were hanging on and that it was kind of bedding in a little bit more for you?
I don't even think settled is a good word. I mean, in this business, you can't be settled. So in my mind, it's just always, I got to grind, I got to get it, I got to work hard, I got to outwork. That's just always been my mindset. And even, from the first couple years in the league, like I said, being on practice squads, after practice squads and undrafted, that mindset hasn't changed. To me, there is no such thing as settling in here, because every year there's a draft, and on the street there's a bunch of guys like me who are starving and hungry for an opportunity. And best believe if you don't show up for work, they'll find somebody else to do the job. So I'm never settled.
Have you talked to Jamal since he found out?
I spoke to him, I think, the day after, and I mean, he's heartbroken. Anybody would be. And I'm heartbroken for him, you know what I mean? Like I said, you work so hard at something, and it gets taken away off of just a routine play, you know what I mean? Just a routine play, and the fact that it's a shoulder that he got worked on, you know what I mean? It breaks your heart even more. It's like, dude, it's the same problem I had last year. And, like I told him, man, just take the time, man. Get away from it, get off the phone, just go through your emotions and let it flourish and let it go through, so that way you can move on and get back into it, because we already know we're looking forward to him coming back. I'm looking forward to it coming back next year. We're excited. He was having a great season. I mean, great season. Of course, everybody talks about the blitzing and stuff like that, but the work that he was doing on the back end and the communication, getting lined up, and still flying around making plays. That energy and presence, he was doing at an all-time high. So, right now he's going through it, and the only thing we can do is be there for him and love him up. You know what I mean, and help him get on the road to recovery.
Which game was it last year? As you said, you really had to develop a post-game regimen for your body. Was it the Vikings?
Yeah, man, they came in. Ooh, Lord, yeah. I was beat up after that game. I felt like I got hit by 2 semi-trucks. I was like, yeah, okay, I gotta get right, man. And like I said, that's part of the learning experience, being a starter. That taught me that quick, you know what I mean? Waking up the next day and it's like, okay, I gotta do this all over again next week. Yes, so you better find a way to get your body back together. So, yeah, that taught me a big lesson right there.
What did you start doing after games now?
Shoot, cold tub and ice tub, hot tub, massages, acupuncture, anything and everything. Stretching, yoga, Pilates, anything. It's just like in this game, you got to rebound as fast as you can, eating right, all that, being hydrated, just all the little things, man. Just making sure you stay on top of it because as you go, the wear and tear just grows no matter what you do. You know what I mean? And the only thing you can do is give your body the best chance to go out there and do what you need to do. So, heck yeah.
That game different. The Vikings, when they just ran it a little bit more.
Oh yeah, they ran that ball, man. And like I told you, I think I told you the one time I was like, yeah, I gotta get strong, man. I gotta, you know what I mean? Like this is different, man. I didn't know it was gonna be like this. So yeah, they came out there with big personnel, big people. I'm like, oh, this is okay. Yeah, I gotta get strong. So yeah, they were running that ball like crazy.
One more. I know you don't want to like get cut or get benched. In college or whatever, but in hindsight, what did those setbacks do for you? Like, how did they contribute to how you got here?
It taught me a couple things, man. It taught me how to serve, because I did lose my spot in college too, and it taught me how to be a guy that has to serve. You know what I mean? So when it came down to practice squad, I was kind of ready for it. It taught me to always compete, to always come back and just and give it your best shot, and it really just helped me out when it came to the league because you take losses or you get cut or you feel like doors close on you. It's a life lesson, really, and it's just like, if that door closed, that means there's just another one. This door just didn't have a name on it, you know what I mean? And as long as I give my best efforts, I'm at peace knowing that, God just didn't have it in his cards right then and there. I gave him my best shot. I didn't get it. That's okay. You go back home, cry your tears, do what you need to do, but sun come up. And when sun come up, that means I got another opportunity to make something happen. So it did nothing but just it taught me how to just grind, be willed, just super willing, and just ready to work at all times. And like I say, opportunities spin the block. They come back, and they came back again, and it's here now. So what you gonna do when they come back? It may not come how you want it to or how you expected it, but it will come. So you just gotta be ready at all times, and that's what that taught me.
Anything else? Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan.